Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon, of course, because there's still plenty of stuff I want to talk about. And when it comes to Disney, whether it's the theme parks, TV shows, something that has something to do with them, of course. But I guess to be more specific here, it's gonna be me talking about like a podcast that somebody did in regards of Frozen 1 and 2. Because some asinine reason. It has something to do in regards of the whole hashtag GiveElsaAgirlfriend. Why does everybody keep talking about this? I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird to me. But anyway, this individual want to make a comment on that specifically, when it comes to, the whole hashtag that started from Twitter, GiveElsaAgirlfriend. And, which to me, if you ask me, sounds a bit homophobic, if you ask me. But, of course, there was another thing, of course, it was called, this kinds of stuff that came about, of course. Give Elsa a girlfriend sparked all sorts of debate and discussion, which, I don't know. That seems perplexing to me. You realize she's a fictional character, right? Again, she's fictional. She's fictional. She's fictional. Again, she's fictional. She does not exist. And everybody's really wants to make an issue about this. I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit if she gets a girlfriend or not, if I'm being honest here. I'm personally speaking, I don't think she needs one, regardless of gender. She doesn't need a relationship, if you ask me, in my honest, humble opinion. So it just seems odd that a lot of people seem to be focused on give a relationship, give a relationship, give a relationship. And then the other side would be like, no, she's gonna have a relationship, but not with the woman. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, really, ugh. Give me the same reaction as if Disney would be supporting Hitler and take that into account as if to be doing the whole gay thing. If he has relations with another woman, it's pretty much the same reaction. If this kind of thing had worked out like that, but okay, it didn't ever. Anyway. Okay, granted, it was often believed that Snow White and Seven Dwarfs was Alfred Hitler's favorite Disney movie, but that doesn't necessarily mean Disney was okay with the Nazis. I'm saying this because a lot of people assumed that Walt Disney was an anti-Semitic, which of course is unfounded, especially considering the fact he actually helped the American troops during World War II. Okay, I'm not trying to make this too much of a history lesson here, but let's just get to the point because this is going to be a long one. So, yeah, let's just dive right in, I guess. Oh, boy.
To a campaign being waged on Twitter, hashtag GiveElsaAgirlfriend. Elsa, of course, being the queen with icy powers from the mega hit Disney film Frozen. At the end of the movie, Elsa's younger sister Anna is happily paired with a guy named Hans.
And you're full of shit. Because, yeah, that's the bit where he actually trying to manipulate Anna, and then the part where he almost decapitated Elsa. I mean, he went to jail, sure. And let me see what else. Oh, yes. He imprisoned the queen for a little bit. All of this was just to manipulate the others into thinking that something bad happened with them. Oh, again, he did the whole manipulation with Anna, leaving her there to die. And this was all part of the plan that he wanted to do to overthrow them to rule over the kingdom. So you mean to tell me that's a guy Princess Anna married at the end of the first movie? When did this occur? What? Something tells me you didn't really see the movie. Is that what it is?
Sorry, Hans was the bad prince. I was talking about Kristoff. My goodness. Elsa, of course.
You immediately corrected yourself right after making that statement. Why couldn't you just edit that out? Or just do a whole new take? But it just seems like sloppy work if you ask me, but okay, whatever.
She was left on her own. Fans are calling on Disney now to give her a female companion in the sequel.
Female companion? Female companion? Why can't you just say girlfriend? That's basically what it is. Girlfriend. And it's not a big deal. I mean, yes, fans have been present with Disney to do so, but that in itself is enough for it to happen. Just because they want it to happen doesn't mean it will. Female companion can apply to pretty much anything, not just strictly, girlfriend kind of a deal here. You know damn well what they're referring to. Again, why does this have to be a big deal to a lot of you people? I mean, really, I don't get it.
The request is sparking all sorts of debate and discussion. Here to discuss is Trish Bendix, editor-in-chief of After Ellen. It's a website dedicated to the representation of lesbian and bi women in popular culture. Trish, it's good.
Okay, so what? And? I mean, Ellen is a lesbian, yes, that's true. So what? And, I mean, yes, of course, nowadays society has been more open-minded. I mean, it's still not quite all the way there, sure. But, baby steps, I guess. And if she was a lesbian, or bisexual, and or pansexual, if you can go that route, I mean, okay, you could have different ways you could tell the story, sure. And, I mean, yes, they should be represented in different ways as well, of course. Whether it's magazines, comic books, video games, short stories, poems, novels, or anything else. Okay, yeah, there should be more of it, sure. Either film, it was never indicated of what her sexual orientation was. Not that it mattered, because it was irrelevant to the story anyway to begin with. I mean, what's going to amount to anyway when you think about it? Okay, they gave her a relationship on what? And what? And what? Okay, they gave her a relationship on so what? What's that going to amount to anything? It mounted to something for Anna in both films, sure. But what about Elsa? What's that going to amount to? What exactly? So what? I mean, okay, there's already a short on Disney Plus between these two characters who are obviously male. It's like an interracial kind of a thing going on. So, I guess baby steps, I guess, when it comes to this kind of a thing, I suppose. Anyway, I still don't see why it's important, but yeah, sure, okay, whatever. Whatever, people. Why is, especially with the Christians, why is a lot of these religious people seem to be really obsessed with this? Is it because you feel threatened? Is that what it is? Most likely.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about this campaign. How did it get started?
Well, ever since Frozen came out, I think because of the fact that Elsa wasn't paired with a male suitor, it's been sort of seen, she's been an unofficial sort of lesbian icon. Also because she's sort of a metaphor, her whole wanting to hide her powers and sort of conceal, not reveal. It's very...
I would have anything against that if that was the case, but I'm just trying to look at this within the context of the film itself. It all started with them having a disagreement in regards of Hans, because you can't marry the man you just met. So, there was something wrong anyway from the start, because Hans could have used a diplomacy approach that they shouldn't fight. But, then the whole thing with the dirt on gloves or whatever, and she unintentionally helped Elsa to reveal that, hey, she has powers all along. What do you know? Of course, this freaks everybody out, and everybody assumed that sorcery, she must be a witch, and whatnot. If anything, yes, that's what made pretty much pushed her away from Home Kingdom. This fear. And when you think about it, that's what it was. Granted, he did trying to pretend like he's going to help Elsa and Anna while they're away. That's an indication he's lying there, because he could have easily sent his people to search for Queen Elsa and have Anna stay in the kingdom and trying to calm anybody down. This is what you would call foreshadowing, so yeah. There were plenty of indications that something, was amiss here.
Like the experience of being in the closet and then coming to terms with your sexual identity. So I think a lot of LGBT people gravitated toward her in the first place. But then this 17-year-old young girl started a Twitter campaign to...
Oh, that's complete load. That's a complete lie right there, because if that were the case, you'd think there would have been some indications of something prior to the film's release or something. So a bit of a contradiction, don't you think?
GiveElsaAgirlfriend, and it kind of took off because people hadn't really come together to sort of ask Disney formally for this, and I think this is the first time we're really sort of seeing the pressure put on them.
What are you even talking about? What pressure? Who is this they're talking about? And again, just because the fans demanded this isn't enough for them to actually do it. I mean, I probably would have done it anyway, I guess, but whatever. While I did really enjoy the first Frozen film, which I still very enjoyed to this very day, but if I were to criticize the Disney Corporation for anything, The trailers for that movie were actually kind of bad, if you ask me.
You mentioned some of the kind of clues that people are seeing or indications that Elsa might be of that persuasion, including
Yes, but in Disney's way of sort of putting things into a more magical, it's Frozen is for children, but
Okay, I wouldn't exactly call it a kids movie. It's more of a family movie. Yes, there's a difference. And the character, again, the villain, Hans, definitely is a label of type of individual. If you ask me, he comes off more of a psychopath kind of an individual. This stuff alone is pretty heavy for a family movie when you think about it. So again, I wouldn't say it's for kids per se. I mean, kids can watch it, I guess, but I don't think they would understand what's going on exactly because they're too young to grasp some things. Throughout the song "Let It Go," they thought that might have been an indication of her coming out of the closet, which was not the case. She was being her true self because she didn't want to hide the powers anymore. Because she was hiding that all along up to that point. That was it.
watching Disney films, I think there's always been a sort of a wink and a nod to certain sort of things that adults can see for themselves in these.
Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. There's so much stupid to unreveal right now. Just give me a second. I need a bathroom break. Just hold on. Hold on a second, folks. Hold on. But I'll be right back. All right, I'm finished. I hope you guys didn't just hear that, but okay, let's go on. I mean, yes, the Disney films do have adult humor in them, which I actually don't mind really at all. But these kinds of jokes has been in other kids movies from other companies. So yeah, what does this look like to you? I mean, really, I wonder what they have been up to. Or this. Geez, I'm trying to guess what they're trying to get at. Or this. Gee, I wonder what it could be. Oh boy. Yeah, folks, there's a lot of ways you can actually deliver these adult jokes in kids movies. All these movies are considered something for kids, mind you. Every single one of these. I'm showing right here. All of them. And this right here is in itself a reference to weed. As in smoking weed. Which I'm fine with, by the way. I don't mind if someone smokes weed, just so you know. And and this one. Yeah. I wonder what they're trying to get at. I don't know. Gee. Oh, this one. Oh boy. It just comes off like all these movies are made from different companies, by the way. It just comes off that they're just picking at Disney, and that's it, just because it's Disney. Oh yeah, and also another thing is that just because it has a LGBT thing, or at least potential LGBT thing, isn't in itself a dog. Oh yeah, and speaking of Scooby-Doo, that dude who played Shaggy in those movies, the live action version anyway, yeah, he was actually in this game. I mean, in the sense that he did a voiceover, I mean, I guess you would say in Dragon Age. Yeah, you don't say nothing about that. That was obviously aimed for adults, so yeah.
Movies. And so I think for Frozen, it really was gay people being able to watch this and say, oh, Elsa, she's not interested in finding her prince.
And yeah, if you actually watch the princess movies, it's usually reserved to princesses that do that kind of thing, not the queens. So you got that wrong. Again, so what? She doesn't. She's not looking for Prince Charming. So what? So what? So what? So what? So what? If Elsa, for all you know, she was attracted to someone being extremely feminine. Why is not a part of the equation? There's different types of sexualities out there, not just this black and white kind of a thing. Ugh. Hans was just too masculine for her. That's the thing for some people, too masculine. And being attracted to femininity can be a thing regardless of what sexual orientation that you are a part of, and regardless of your gender identity as well. So, you can be a straight person, gay, or whatever. It doesn't matter. So, okay, give me a break here, will you?
She instead is more concerned about her relationship to herself and to her family. And, she's
And that doesn't make any sense. Okay, the fact that Elsa did not end up with a woman doesn't mean that it's because she was being too busy taking care of the family and whatnot. That's not the case here. What let you do that? Anything, she had to take care of an entire kingdom. She just turned queen in that one scene. That alone is extremely stressful. And you're overly simplifying it. This also depends on the individual as well. Some people can handle stress more than others. Some people can't handle stress at all. Some kind of, sort of, and those are people who can actually handle it really, really well. So yeah, this can occur with or without a relationship. Again, you're just overly simplifying it. Uh, this is so cringe. This is so cringe. Mind you, none of this is indicating for sexual irritation, yet your bad argument is somehow means it is.
Thank you for that gross oversimplification and inaccurate look at the world and human beings. I hope you step on a Lego brick in the middle of the night.
essentially trying to figure out who she is and what it means for her that she has this big, dark secret that eventually comes to light. So I think it's just a very extended metaphor that maybe Disney didn't intend for us to see, but that we've definitely picked up on.
I love it. I feel like we're in a college course right now.
Yeah, some people were scared about her powers, but then the thing is that characters like Anna didn't really care whatsoever. Oh yeah, and the other character, Kristoff, once he found out about it, he didn't really care either, really. He was like, okay, whatever, kind of like indifferent about the whole thing. So, you're incorrect about that again. Yes, at first, he was annoyed about it because he ruined his business, so to speak, understandably so, even though despite the fact Elsa didn't mean it, really. And when they finally reached the castle, Anna was actually really glad. She was amazed by this castle made from ice.
Right, the semiotics of Frozen, but not everybody reads it in that way. And I actually want to listen to a little snippet from the film. Here is Elsa and her sister Anna. They're talking after Elsa has fled the village of Arendelle.
I'm so sorry about what happened. If I'd have known...
No, it's okay. You don't have to apologize. But you should probably go. Please.
But I just got here.
You belong down in Arendelle.
So do you.
No, Anna, I belong here. Alone. Where I can be who I am.
Now, you could say that's being a lesbian, but she also said alone. And there are a lot of folks saying, look.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're referring to this scene when they finally confront each other. They're both sisters, you know that. They're showing sisterly love, compassion to each other. This does not mean both characters are sipping each other. As a lesbian relationship. So that's incest. That's gross. Ew. I'm just, I don't know.
Okay.
Why not? Wouldn't it be really cool in a film to have a princess who is totally, or a queen, who's completely all right being single? Let's get the voice for the single people. Your response?
Okay, first things first. That makes you sound extremely bitter. Yeah, you sounded really bitter right there when you said that. And yes, Queen Elsa has remained single for both movies. So what are you talking about here? What the hell? You sound so bitter.
I mean, that's honestly, I would be okay with that too, but
Having Elsa be a lesbian or bi woman does not mean it's single or anything. You're reading way too much into this.
as a member of the LGBT community, would it be fantastic to see an actual lesbian princess? Of course.
Yes, you could be lesbian and single, true, and there's also been a lot of people from the LGBT who are single.
Or a bisexual princess. I mean, just the idea that there would be some sort of representation on that level. I mean, Disney is a global entity, and these films, especially Frozen, was such a hit for them that if they ever were to, and I'm sort of a pessimist on this, I don't really.
Yeah, your pessimism is showing. At least you admit it. So that makes you really biased on your end when you actually think about it.
Actually go go there with it. But if they were to embrace Elsa as, LGBT identified, I think that would be fantastic and really speaking to the future of where they're going to be going in terms of inclusivity, because they do have diverse.
If you're fine with Elsa being a lesbian queen, then why are you complaining about it, really? Ugh.
In terms of like people of color within their princesses and princes and cast members. So I think it would be just fantastic to see.
So we're just gonna ignore this movie? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, we're gonna ignore it. Yeah, sure. I don't know if you noticed, but both Frozen films took place in Norway, as in the Norwegian. Not exactly Caucasian, but still. So it's rather insulting to think that these characters are light-skinned somehow means the anti-diversity, from, like, as in displaying different people from different cultures and whatnot. That film is not trying to say is against that. People from different countries, different places, have a variety of different people. Like people from Cuba are dark skinned. Some people from Jamaica dark skinned, and people from or even of course Africa. So there's people from England. There's people from Germany, and then there's Eastern European and whatnot. People from Spain. People from I don't know. Let's say Mexico, Venezuelan. Oh yeah, Portuguese. Of course, a lot of these people are gonna have light skin. Does that mean they're Caucasian? No, of course not. But if they had a Spanish princess, as in Spain, I mean, does that mean it's anti-diversity? No. So of course, there's gonna be different skin color people and whatnot. If these movies, yeah, both Frozen films took place in Japan, or let's say South Korea, I'm pretty sure this argument wouldn't have come up whatsoever. So, yeah, it seems like you're just making stuff up out your ass. Okay, both your asses, I should say, but you know what I'm getting at. Oh boy. None of this makes any sense again. I know this is a lengthy video, and this is just... I'm really trying my best here to come off like I won't keep repeating myself. That's what I'm getting at. I'm trying my best not to repeat myself. I keep hearing the same arguments over and over again. How many times do I explain this? I mean, really. Usually somebody's skin color is what you're going to be worrying about. Like, out of all the things in the movie, that's what you're going to be latching onto, is their skin color. Of course, you're going to have diversity from different cultures, which I'm fine with, obviously. As long as it goes with the plot and have a great story and great character development. At the end of the day, that's all I care about, really. Regardless of their sexual orientation, regardless of their country of origin, man, woman, whatever. At the end of the day, that's the only thing I really care about. Is a good story and great characters. That's it. At the end of the day, that's all I want, really. That's literally all I want, really. Regardless of genre as well. The both of you come off like you're the type of people to complain about video games like Injustice 2 just because a certain character like Power Girl may have big old tits. Yeah, it sounds like you might complain about that as well. Ugh.
Especially on this level, she's a leading lady.
But this is a little bit different, right? I mean, as you mentioned, Disney has taken strides in recent years. They've been able to include princesses of color, Jasmine Mulan, Tiana, and Princess and the Frog. But that
just because a lot of these characters, the princess characters, are light skinned, doesn't mean they're all Caucasian. You can be light skinned and being from different countries. Spain much? Helena is actually from France, and she's light skinned. And let me see here. Oh yeah, Sarah, she's light skinned and she's an elf. And let me see what else. An elf, yeah. Oh, Candy Cane, and she's Canadian, and she's light skinned. Let me see. Okay. Oh yeah, Snow White, she's German. So yeah.
it's about race. This would be about sexuality, and you're talking about films that a huge part of their audience are really young kids. And so
Pause it. But really, somebody please think of the children. Argument. This type of thing keeps coming up in these videos. I mean, of course, kids are naive. Of course, kids don't know everything. At least not immediately. But this is just a weak excuse because it's coming off you thinking that it's being forced upon everybody. Well, there's plenty of movies that have straight couples. And I don't complain about that.
Parents may not feel ready to have those conversations. How do you kind of grapple around that?
I'm pretty sure a lot of little kids saw straight people kissing in a movie and they never questioned it. Why does it have to be any different when it comes to the LGBT couples? Oh boy. You're making it as if that this entire thing is more complicated than necessary. If anything, people said the exact same thing when it comes to interracial dating and interracial marriages. Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine the reaction would have been if the entire movie was like this. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh boy. Titties. Anyway.
Well, I think as someone that, I don't have children myself, but I have an 8-year-old nephew, and, he's a Disney fan. And I think that he doesn't look at myself and my partner as, well, what is the sexual or romantic aspect of their relationship? He's looking at it as this is his world. This is what the world looks like. It is people that are, in same-sex pairs or opposite-sex pairs. It's not a conversation that necessarily needs to be about.
If it's not an issue, then what's the complaint here? If the child's not going to care, most likely the said child isn't going to question anything. If that's the thing, then why? Oh my god. Why? None of this makes any sense, I swear. Then leave it alone. Yeah, no, this technically goes into thing of the children argument from a moment ago I mentioned. I know, but it's not going to damage them, you know. They're gonna be okay with it. It's gonna be alright. So yeah, apparently if a same-sex couple, it's automatically adults only. Like I was saying much earlier, it's not automatically sexually explicit. What are you talking about? That if it's a gay couple, it's automatically sexualized, but if it's with a straight couple, it varies. See, see how this really falls apart when you think about it.
The sexual or necessarily the romantical aspect of it. I think if Elsa just had a partner and it wasn't an issue within the film, that maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Elsa was actually a lesbian in the film, nobody would have questioned it. I'm pretty sure none of these citizens, nobody that works for them would have questioned it at all. They would be like, okay, whatever. I'm pretty sure everybody would have been alright within in this universe that they created. Oh, okay. And even though her sexual orientation is none of your business, if you're not involved in a relationship, why should you care?
That would surprise some parents that their children know of someone at their school that has.
Yeah, you're making a big deal, even though you're saying it's not a big deal. Well, of course, kids nowadays are aware of it. It's a different era of America. How it was in the boomer generation when they were much younger. I'm sure they had their own struggles too, sure. But nowadays, with the millennials and whatnot, they have the technology and everything else. It's much more easy to communicate with people in some ways when you think about it. So think about the computers, the technology, the data and whatnot. It's much more easier to do some things.
Two mothers or two fathers, or
Exactly.
And if you do have a question about it, why you can't just have a simple conversation about yes, that's a possibility.
I mean, okay, sure, asking questions about the LGBT in a positive way isn't in itself a bad thing. If you don't know something, you don't know something. You're not gonna know everything right away. That's fine. That's not. Just don't be an asshole about it. Is what I'm saying. So yeah, think about it.
As you mentioned, Trish, you don't think Disney's going to go for it. I think the script has already long been written.
Both of you are flip-flopping with this. There is something wrong with it, but then there isn't. But there is, but there isn't. But there is, but there isn't. But there is, but there isn't. But there is, there isn't. Just for your information, these movies were not planned. It was never planned to be any more than one. It was supposed to be originally a standalone film. None of it was planned. None of it. Yet it became a franchise. Nonetheless, anyway.
So maybe a little bit too late. But were this to happen, maybe in Frozen 3, 4, or 5,000, and Elsa...
You're not funny and nobody likes you.
Elsa had a girlfriend, who would you like to hear be that voice?
Oh my gosh! Wow, I wasn't prepared for that amazing question. That's a good question. As somebody.
Oh my god, I'm getting so bored. I'm starting to drift off again. Man, end already. I don't care what anyone says. Freckles aren't ugly. Actually pretty nice to look at when I think about it. Anna has freckles. I don't know why I'm pointing that out, but yeah, There you go. Sex has freckles. Haha.
Who always is fighting for more sort of androgynous and less feminine representations of LGBT women. I
know being feminine has been attacked over the years because a lot of people seem to think that being feminine, being girly and whatnot is somehow a sign of weakness. Guess what? It's not. Ugh. You know what? I'm not going to explain this. Skip. Go on.
would love to see like a Abby Wambach.
Oh, I like that. Trish Bendix, editor-in-chief of the website After Ellen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was it. A big old mess of nothing. So, I don't know what to say anymore. This is stupid. This was a whole waste of time. Well, folks, I do appreciate anybody for watching, of course. This was one long video. See ya. Later. Whatever. I don't know. Yeah.